Hi, this is Math 6, Module 5, Lesson 2, and we're talking about the area of right triangles. Now, I still want you to think about the area of a right triangle in terms of a rectangle. So if we were to just make another triangle on top of this, we would have a full rectangle now. And the area of each triangle would be the exact same. Okay, because we've split it in half diagonally. But, so we know that, well, let's talk about this area of a rectangle. Let's go, area of a rec is equal to length times width. We know that. Now the area of a triangle is equal to half the base times the height. Now, I don't want you to necessarily think that you have to take the base and half it. That's not actually what that is saying. That's just saying we take the base and the height and we half whatever that is. Okay? And if you think about it, that's exactly what this right triangle is. This is half of a rectangle and this is half of a rectangle. So we just do the length times the width of the rectangle. We would take 8 and 6 just like it was a regular rectangle. And then we just half it. That's how you find the area of a triangle. So, to do the area of a triangle, we would say 1/2 of 8 times 6. The base times the height. Now, several different ways you can do this. You can half the 8 and then multiply it. You can multiply 8 times 6, then half it. You could half the 6 if you wanted to. It does not matter because it's commutative property, right? So what I would do, I would say, what is half of 8? That is 4. Well, 4 times 6 is 24 inches squared. Remember, if it's area, we're always talking about the square. Okay? So now then, it says Dan and Joe are responsible for cutting the grass on the local high school soccer field. Joe cuts a diagonal line through the field, as shown in the diagram below, and says that each person is responsible for cutting the grass on either side of the line. Dan says that this is not fair because he will have to cut more grass than Joe. Is Dan correct? Well, no, he's not. Okay? Because this is half of a rectangle, half the base times the height, and this would also be half of base times the height, which is your definition of a area of a rectangle. Okay, so they will both, they cut the same amount of grass. So everybody understand and can communicate to me why the area of a triangle is half the area of a rectangle. You should be able to communicate that to me. Celine?
Because when you have two triangles, it'll make a rectangle. And so basically, if you find the area of the rectangle, you can find the area of the triangle.
Yeah, if you think about it, if you have any type of right triangle, no matter what it looks like, okay, if it's a right triangle, if I draw another right triangle right here, I just have two of the same right triangles. It's the same amount. So if I know this base to be 3 and this height to be 4, I could do the same area of the rectangle, which is 3 times 4, and that equals 12, but I only need half of it because I only care about this triangle. So I divide by 2, and the area of that triangle would be 6. Okay? That is it for this assignment. Here is your area of a triangle, though. Area of a rectangle. And hopefully, yesterday we done parallelogram. Area of a parallelogram is equal to just the base times the height, but you got to figure out what is the height, right? It's not as easy to see that height on a parallelogram, so you have to figure out what that is. Okay,